ice. I got that in my clock. I got that in my sock. Go and suck my. Hey, we're back. Welcome back to another episode of District.
Happy New Year.
I am your co-host, Alex. And I'm joined here with my father, none other than Urby. What?
None? Co-host?
I'm your co. Yeah, I'm the co-host.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say I was a host.
So who's the host?
You, bitch.
Me? Back to you, Alex.
And back to a word with our sponsors. What's new with you? How you been?
I've been good, man.
We lost a segment. We lost a pal of ours. He's in a better place. He's over on Cimarron right now.
Yeah. He's not picking up the phone, so hopefully he makes his way back to us.
Yeah.
If you've seen him, his name is Boito. He's missing.
Yeah, please give us a call. We miss him. But yeah, I guess we'll keep that segment as like the Bodega Boys, and this is District. So we'd love to have him back. But yeah, let's get into it. What's new?
I don't know, man. I think the biggest thing that's happened so far this year is that whole Xxxtentacion trial. Now apparently there's like
Drake's tied. Do you think like they're trying to say Drake's tied to that? Come on.
I mean, it could be two things. Either it could be just for publicity because the guy wants clout for some reason, even though he's going to jail forever, or two, like who knows? Again, these are conspiracy theories. So
basically, these are like allegations.
Yeah.
I mean, you know better than I do, but you said that there were some lyrics though.
Yeah.
There were some lyrics.
So look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I personally don't really listen to like Drake like that. Like, I mean, I'll listen to it like in the background. You know what I mean? But like, I'm not one of those where his album drops at 12 midnight and I'm on it listening to it, and then I'm not like that.
I will say though, when his most recent album did drop with 21, I'm not really a fan of 21. I already said this before, but
shots fired.
No, nothing against him. I mean, hey man, if you want to make bad music, more power to you.
Shots fired.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, everyone has their own taste. I just like good taste. So.
Shots fired.
No, but when he dropped that album, I was like, okay, let me listen to it. And ironically, as I was listening to what was it, Circo Loco, or whatever the fuck that the name of that song is, my car turned off.
Oh shit!
That's how good the song was.
So look,
shut my car off.
So look, I'm gonna pull up the
there it is.
The article real quick. So this is on hotnewhiphop.com. So
this is where we get all of our
I just put Xxxtentacion murder Drake, and then it says it's been nearly 5 years since XXS was murdered in Florida, just at 20 years old. However, his legacy lives on because of his expressive music that continues to touch his fan base. However, the Florida it says the suspect in this murder, Dedrick Williams, has pleaded not guilty. It's going to be kind of...
That's pretty fucking crazy.
And they have video of it, man. I don't know. And then it says now he's calling on some big names to testify due to their alleged involvement.
Is this what the video is showing? The video showing this article right now? Is it not on your face?
No, it's on my face.
Okay, good.
And then it just says, like, he mentioned Joe Budden, 6ix9ine, Quavo, Takeoff, rest in peace, and then Drake. So... I don't know, man.
I mean, I think obviously the whole music industry, there's mob ties. It's always been mob ties.
But my question is, if this ended up being true, would you be surprised?
Not really. No, the way Drake moves. Did you hear the way Drake moves? He's like the president. Like he has like 3 big ass blacked out like SUVs. Drewski was like just talking about it, like. He just the way he moves with his bodyguards. So, I wouldn't be surprised. There's so much shit that we don't know.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of conspiracy theories about this person does this person does that.
But look, when you're at Drake's level, I mean, you do need that protection because I mean Drake's what 1, 2, at least top 5 in the world, right?
Oh yeah.
I put him at least top 3
of what most
like artists, biggest artists at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah, if not the most.
Yeah, he's
famous. Yeah.
I mean, I think he's like number 2 or number 1 on Spotify.
Yeah, who the fuck? Oh, maybe Bad Bunny would be number 1 worldwide. Well, worldwide, I think it would have to be like a, yeah, like a. It's just like soccer. Yeah. It's just more Spanish speakers.
No, but I mean like just for like artist wise. But regardless or not, he needs that protection or whatever. But then we can go into like what Illuminati is.
I mean, all jokes aside, but like, I think I was huge into conspiracy theories in high school. But I do think a part of that there is some truth to the conspiracy theories.
But would you be surprised if something like this ended up being true though?
This part, like in my head, is like, what does Drake benefit from sending a hit to kill this guy?
Well,
what is he gonna benefit from?
Well, the thing is like, and we had talked about this right when I first said like, yo, bro, this shit's crazy. It's just these artists, they
fans and shit.
They got a crazy fan base.
It's like a cult base.
Yeah, they got a crazy fan base. These artists, it's not that they're powerful. It's just they're very influential upon people. So
that is true.
It could have been something directly, or it could have been an indirect thing too. Because it doesn't mean that Drake said to do something. It could have been like, a few years ago, XXS went on he did a live stream and he
talking about
he went off on OVO, and then he said he went on a podcast. He said some things about Drake. So it's like maybe Drake didn't take it personal, but maybe somebody who's a big fan of Drake took it personal.
Like honestly, like the Eminem and Stan thing, like that whole song is supposed to be based on like a somewhat of a true story of him having this like crazy fan. But that could be it.
Yep.
That could be like you can't talk about OVO that way. That's like, my world.
Like let's look at the last celebrity that had like a big issue like this. Well, not murder, but like where they're super influential. Kanye West. When Pete was going out with Kim, he would say all that shit on Twitter or whatever. What happened? Pete had issues on the street where people who are super big Kanye West fans were going up to him and yeah, it's just like
basically bullying this person.
Exactly, and it's not even personal.
That is so true though.
And just because Kanye didn't say like, oh yeah, if you see him, fuck him, or maybe he did. I can't remember. He said so much shit, but like he doesn't have to. All he has to say like, this guy's a bitch. Well, if Kanye thinks this guy's a bitch, then I think he's a bitch too. Mm-hmm. And when I see him, I'm gonna beat his ass.
But then he screws himself over by basically being anti-Semitic. But if there's one thing about Kanye, I feel like he's too like calculated. All the things he's doing, it seems like there's a bigger reason.
Yeah.
And I found it so interesting that like technically like that he's like protecting himself. I don't know if he does it on purpose or it's just an art statement with the mask thing. You can't prove that that's Kanye, which is hilarious.
Yeah. He's
wearing that mask. So for all we know, it could be another person.
Yeah, it could be an impersonator or doppelganger or whatever.
Literally, I don't know if I was sober or not, but I was thinking about that like the other day. And I was like, I don't know if that's just by coincidence or just genius. He could easily be like, that wasn't me. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Prove it.
Because nobody saw it.
It's not his face.
And he did, I think it was like his Donda concert or whatever, where he put the house like in the middle of the stadium. He would have like a mask on, right? Yeah. The whole time. So it's like,
it could be another person.
Yeah. That might have not been him. He might have been in
just chilling in the green room.
Or he might have been on the other side of the world or something like that, So it's just, you never know.
The thing is but the ironic thing is to circle back with the Illuminati and like just higher power of these, successful and powerful people. That is a real thing, having doubles. Like Hillary Clinton, there was a huge thing when she was running for president. She had a double. Trump has, Barack has a double. Like people don't realize like that is a real thing. And it's for safety. The primary thing is it's for safety. So that way, if you're saying you're in one spot or you need to be at another spot, someone might have access to that information and try to hurt that person. It's for safety, primarily, I believe.
The crazy thing about that, and by the way, I do believe you on that, it's just, who would sign up for some shit like that? That's such a dangerous job.
That is, like, you're basically potentially, like, you're putting yourself in fire.
Yeah.
Like, you could be potentially killed, stabbed, wounded, just, like, all these things. It's like, I wonder what the pay is like.
It's got to be ridiculous, but I don't think it's worth it, bro.
Hell no. But you have to think, too, like, there has to be crazy incentives for you to basically put your life on the line. So whether it's like them saying, "Hey, we're going to take care of your family and your kids," and
shit, bro. I'm getting anxiety just thinking about that job right now. If I had that, it's just like you in any moment.
You don't know.
Anything can happen to you. Yeah,
you don't know. Like that's another thing too with like fuck, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. I was gonna bring up something, but it dealt with like high power stuff. But fuck, we'll circle back. I lost my train of thought. It had to deal with like Illuminati stuff. I think it's like people are so like the media as funny, you know, as funny and crazy as Kanye is been going on these like, you know, podcasts and the shit he's been saying is crazy. Whether you want to see it or not, you know, I don't want to talk bad about the people that run the media, but those people that do run the media, that is a real thing. So if you talk bad about these people, they will come for you. Mm-hmm. And people think it's a joke. People are so brainwashed. That's what I was going to get at. People are brainwashed. The stuff that they put on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram. My brother knows this, and some of my friends do, like my close friends. I don't. That's why I don't like memes. It really bothers me when I wake up in the morning. I'm like, I'm trying not to stay on my phone for too long, and then my DMs are just flooded with memes. That's the last thing I want to see. It's also, I personally think that's on purpose. They want to dumb people down, you know. But that's a whole other conversation. But there was something I wanted to get to, and I fucking completely forgot my train of thought. But I don't know if it dealt with Drake, but I don't know. I think there's so much shit that we don't know. Like,
but even with these other names that were listed, you know, you got like 6ix9ine and stuff, you know, where he's had trouble with like gangs and stuff. It's just gangs have such an influence in the music genre because they're the ones who back up the artists. They're the ones who pay for a lot of this stuff. They're the ones who convince people for you know, they're the ones who are actually making moves behind the scenes. It's, you know, yeah, managers and stuff like that, they have limited power.
This is streets, man.
Yeah, so it's just, you got these people that are actually running the industry, you know, behind the scenes, and so who knows, man? I mean, I don't think anybody deserves to die.
No, fuck no.
But, you know, if this ended up being true, right? And it could have been Drake. This could have been just a coincidence, something random. But if this ended up being because it had something to do with music and these other names that are tied to it, right? They saw him as a threat because, I mean, XXX was like huge, bro. The kid blew up. I mean,
he's from Miami too.
His music was like, I mean, to me, it was a little dark and stuff like that. But
very dark.
But people related to it, you know. And he sung and he expressed himself the way that a lot of artists are afraid to express themselves, because there is a dark side to music. There is a dark side to reality. So it's just, he was able to put that into words and put that into a song, and people were able to relate. And I think that's why he became so successful. It's not always about money, bitches, cars, you know, living a life.
It's real shit. Yeah.
Depression, I think more people can relate with depression than being rich and having a luxury lifestyle.
That is so true. I just personally think, like, I had a hard time, like, listening to him and Juice WRLD. I don't take that for granted. You know, we do joke, we like to have fun, but whenever we are serious, like, all jokes aside, that stuff is very real, you know, depression, anxiety. I just don't deal with that stuff. Yeah. So listening to that stuff, I'm like, it's just very dark. I don't want to listen to that. I don't want to, because personally, I think that's also why music is so powerful. It could put you in a mood. Yeah. Like, every time before a basketball game, I would listen to just hyped shit. Ace Hood, Meek Mill, like, that's why I think I was, like, so...
I just don't like how they kept talking about, like, taking drugs and just doing crazy stuff. It's like,
bro,
like
I don't
crazy
listen
pills.
To that shit. Like, and again, like, whether people have their own beliefs of how music makes you feel, like, that subconsciously, your brain is picking up on those words. So your brain is listening to that and being like, okay, and then imagine repeat. You're listening to over and over and over again. So people don't realize, like, you look at that on like a day-to-day basis. If you are telling yourself, like, okay, I'm going to be the best technician, or I'm going to make this chapstick, and I'm going to make sure I make the best chapstick, and it's going to be better than the, like, I don't know, if
the leading brand.
Yeah, if your brain is constantly thinking about chapstick, then you start seeing all these ads about chapstick. You start seeing billboards about chapstick. It's like, it's not a coincidence. Your brain works that certain way. Like, I think I've told you this before off camera. My brother Lewis wanted this car when we were in high school. It was the S2K. I'm not a huge car guy, and I was like, what the fuck is that? He shows me a picture. It's a Honda. Very cool car. I had never seen it. He shows me this car, and then I'm like, oh, cool. Like a little, like, you know, like drop top S2K. And then I can't make this up. The next week, I keep seeing them everywhere. Everywhere I kept saying, I was like, oh, that's the car Lewis wants. And then a few weeks go by, and then he's like, oh, I want this Infiniti or Nissan 350Z. I'm like, what the fuck does that look like? So
That he ended up getting.
And I was like, oh, I don't know what it looks like. He showed me a picture. I kept seeing him. So I don't think it's a coincidence that your brain, the way your brain works, you keep seeing
It's
these
probably
things.
you notice it more now that you've seen it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's like when I was like, oh, I want to get into real estate investing. I kept seeing ads. I kept seeing billboards. I kept seeing signs. That's not a coincidence. So people can say what they want, positive and negative. If you're thinking about negative things, you're going to keep thinking about negative things. That's like the easiest example is red lights. If you're late to work and you're like, oh, man, I can't be late. I'm going to get all these. I'm like, oh, I can't be late. I don't want to be late. Probably gonna keep getting red lights.
So it's just putting that energy out into the world, into the universe. Yeah.
Personally, that's how I see it. That's why I don't want to listen to just dark shit. Sometimes it's good. Like if I like, let's say in the future, if I'm playing this like character that's like dark or emo, I'll probably listen to that. I'll probably listen to some bad like dark shit to get me into that mode of that character or whatever.
The mindset.
Yeah, because like I think you could tap into that. I think that's why like the best actors they found a way to tap into it, hopefully without losing themselves, you know. But yeah, music in general is just like kind of crazy. Just mob ties, mafia ties, like I don't know, bro. This shit goes back to like Sinatra. Like people were saying that Sinatra blew up because he had ties to the mafia. Like, this isn't a new thing. Like, I think people just don't really see.
Could be, yeah.
People don't see what happens behind, closed doors. I mean, we don't even fucking know.
Just conspiracy theories. But see, with this Drake situation is that, I guess, in a lot of his songs, I mean, his last album, he dissed a bunch of people. And,
dude, that shit was pretty fun.
And apparently there's a lot of, like, certain lines that fit into what happened. And I don't remember exactly what they were. And I looked them up online and stuff like that. I saw other people's, like, like videos and stuff like that, and it's just
I'll probably put it up when I edit
it. It makes sense. Like, I mean, when you put it that way, it makes sense, and it's believable, But I mean, it doesn't have to be in the songs for it to be believable either, because then at the same time, like, why would he be dumb enough to put that into his song? He'd be incriminating himself, right?
Yeah,
but we might know, we might never know.
But that's interesting. You say I've always thought about that with the whole lyrics thing. Like a lot of these people, a lot of these like rappers and like they talk like, I love this guy, Freddie Gibbs. Like he gets me hyped whenever I'm like working out lately. Like the last year or so, I really was like listening to Freddie Gibbs while I lift. It's just like good music. Just it gets me in a good mood to just like pump up some shit. But what he's saying, he's talking a lot about drugs. He's talking a lot about like coke.
It's like does he say like directly, or is it like a double meaning?
Kind of like he's kind of saying without. He's talking about
like
he's saying ice cream. He's saying.
So he would say like, "Oh, I'm in love with this white girl," but we actually know what he's talking about.
Exactly. So, but some people don't pick up on that, and I think it's funny. I think it's kind of cool, like in a courtroom.
But that's being creative, though.
Exactly. I think there's so much creative behind that, because I think he's talked about it on a Joe Rogan podcast. Like back in the day, he used to sell. He's pretty open about it. But the way he talks about it, he's smart. He's not saying like, "Oh, I did this, and that." It's like, legal terms. He's covering himself, I think. But he had straight up also said like, "Oh, I had shot a crackhead 9 times, and he just ran away in this alleyway," on a Joe Rogan podcast, which is funny as fuck. You can't necessarily prove that. It could be a story, made up, but it's probably true.
Unless somebody now says like, "Hey, I'm a crackhead and I got shot 9 times by some guys," and he just said it on.
He just outed himself. His podcast. But I think that's always interesting with like lyrics that these artists are kind of almost outing themselves. They're talking about a lot of shit.
But it doesn't have to be something that happened to them. It could be something that happened to a friend of theirs, somebody that they know. So it's just you're never gonna know.
No, but also Sabrina Claudio. This really good artist. I don't know if you know who that is.
No.
She's from Miami, a really good singer. She was getting interviewed and someone asked her, "Oh, you make this music about like love and emotion, blah blah blah." And they asked her like, "Oh, did you go through like a really bad breakup?" She's like, "No, if I'm gonna be honest, like I actually don't write about my personal experiences. I write based on other people's stories." And I always found that so interesting, because I've had buddies of mine that are in relationships that make music, and I'm like, you should write about stories. It doesn't have to necessarily be about you.
Yeah.
But I've always thought like their girlfriend probably wouldn't like that.
Yeah. I mean, I do that too. I write not only about, maybe things that
personal.
Personal that I'm going through, or maybe something I I won't talk about something that I'm going through at the moment. I might talk about something I went through, but I definitely used other people's stories,
which I think is smart. It's just like writing a film. It doesn't necessarily have to be real. It could be fiction. You know, it could be something that happened to somebody else, but it didn't have to happen to you. I think that also is what makes you a good storyteller. You know what I mean? Like, you could just start writing and riffing off of stuff that may or may not be true. But that's also what can get people in trouble, is if you start believing those, you know, stories that aren't you, that aren't for you, you know? But, I don't know. I think there's a lot of shit that we don't know that happens in this industry. So.
But we'll see what happens with this trial. We'll see. We might end up knowing what happened. We might end up not knowing what happened. You know, this might be for clout, or this might be just the truth. But
who knows?
You know.
And to end off real quick, though, before I forget, speaking of trial, dude, if Tory Lanez has ended up found guilty, that sucks. That's like 20 years. Yeah. But sorry, Tory. Your last album was amazing, and it's underrated.
For real, dude.
So underrated.
I really liked it. It had that synth wave, synth
like
pop,
very 80s, like.
And I think it really goes with like the way he sings and stuff like that. He's a super versatile artist.
Bro. Like, no one else could really do that, you know. But it just sucks that people put themselves in. And I don't know. Again, I wasn't there, but it just, if he did it or if he didn't, I mean, he's saying he's guilty, so it kind of sucks. But it's just like, be smart, guys. Just don't fucking shoot people in the foot. But, you know.
Or just stay away from that lifestyle. You got money, you know.
It's hard, though. Floyd talks about it. Floyd Mayweather got, like, shit on. He's like, what am I supposed to do with all this money? Stay in the ghetto? And stay in trouble? Fuck no. I'm getting the fuck out. Yeah. But end off on that note, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. Make sure you guys flood Puit those DMs and let him know to pick up the phone.
And let him know I miss him.
I would, I miss him too. I miss you, buddy. Just come back. We miss you.
But yeah, like, subscribe. We'll be posting a lot more content a lot quicker this time because we've invested in tons of new equipment and nothing. Let us know if you think Drake did it or not. Is this a conspiracy theory that might be true? It might not be true. We want to hear it from you. So
let us know.
We'll be looking in the comments. You want to say something else?
I think that's it. Just let us know, man. I got some music coming out in like 4 months. Shouts out to Yellow 88. Also, can you just help me produce some shit already? Like, what's up? I need your help.
Yeah, dude.
Could you get on some shit with me?
Yeah.
But yeah, stay tuned. We got a lot of projects. I'm excited for Urby to release some stuff for you guys to listen to, and for my alter ego. And stay tuned.
All right. See you guys.
Peace.